I am going to do this extra review with you. Feel free to come to extra help, of course, if you have any questions. Okay? All right, so for the function graph below, over which interval is g of x negative? So things are negative when they're below the x-axis. So I would say it's negative from here to here, this area right there. So that would be from positive 1 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be choice 1. So you have to know when something is positive above the axes, negative below the axes, increasing going up, rate of change is positive, decreasing going down, rate of change is negative. Okay? So it also says when is it decreasing, and it's decreasing from here. I'll go to yellow. From here to here, and that would have been this area right here for decreasing. That would have been the decreasing. All right? So make sure you know positive, negative, increasing, decreasing, min, max, zeros, y-intercept, etc. If the function is defined by the formula y equals 2x minus 1 and its domain is given by this set, okay, so that's going to be the inputs. So I'm going to input a positive 1. So 2 times 1 minus 1 is going to equal 1. 2 times 2, see, these are the inputs over here, right here are the inputs, minus 1 equals 3. And then 2 times 4 minus 1 equals 7, which is the answer right here. You can also use your calculator. You can put the 2x minus 1 in your y sub 1 and then just go and look at the table. Okay. Describe each function. So parallel to x equals is parallel to the y-axis. That was weird. It came up yellow. Oh, my handwriting is terrible here. And since it's a positive 4, it's going to go to the right. I know that the handwriting is hard to see, so just make sure you're listening, okay? Y equals 4 is going to be parallel to the x-axis. And it's positive 4, so it's going to be above. X equals negative 4 is going to be parallel to the y-axis. And since it's negative, it's going to be to the left. Y equals negative 4 is going to be parallel to the x-axis. And since it's negative, it's going to be below. Okay. What is the slope of a line going through the point? So that's the slope formula, y2 minus y1. So 2 minus 4 is negative 2. x2 minus x1. So negative 6 minus 2 is positive 4. So you can leave your slope like that. That is the actual answer, or you can choose to reduce it. So that's equal to negative 1/2. A function is originally or initially just defined as this set, which ordered pair, if added, prevents it from being a function. So you can't add another 2 with a different answer, but this is fine. Okay? You can't add that because negative 1 already has the answer of 3. This is fine. It's a totally different x. And this is fine. It's a totally different x. So just, make sure you don't fall for the trap of saying 2, 5, because 2, 5 is okay. Write this in slope-intercept form. Okay, so that's going to be the y equals mx plus b. Y equals, I don't know why it's not writing today, but mx plus b. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is move the 2x to the other side. Maybe if I get a finer point, I wonder if that would work. So add 2x, add 2x. So that's negative 3y equals 2x plus 6. And then you got to divide by this -3. So that's y equals -2/3 x minus 2. Okay. All right. What would be the slope of a line that is parallel? It would be the same slope. Parallel lines have the same slope. It would be the same, which is -2/3. Okay. State the domain. So the domain is left to right. I guess on the camera it goes backwards, so it's left to right on the camera. So I go all the way to the left, and that's -1, -2, -3. And I'm going to put a square bracket because you notice that's a closed circle. And then if I go all the way to the right, that's +2, and that's going to be an open circle. So it's going to be a curved bracket. All right, so range is low to high. So if I go low, that's at -2. And if I go high, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's at 7. You can also write those as inequalities. How many values of x satisfy the equation f of x equals 0? So that would be this line here. And there's 2 of them. These 2 right here. 1, 2. 2 of them. Okay. Graph the linear equation. Okay, so I'm going to use the y-intercept of -2, and you can also use your graphing calculator. And then I'm going to use the slope of 3, which is 3 over 1, so up 3 over 1. Up 3 over 1. Up 3 over 1. Up 3 over 1. And you want to just connect to make a long line. Remember, all lines are straight, and don't forget to label. Okay? Write the linear equation, any form is accepted. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go backwards to 0. And if you follow the pattern, 12, 10, 8, 6, this is definitely a 4. So that's going to give me y equals the slope with an x plus 4. If you follow the slope, it's increasing by 2. So that means the slope is 2. Okay. You can also do linear regression on your graphing calculator. All right. Linear regression on the graphing calculator. Write in slope intercept form. So that again is the y equals mx plus b. So I want to subtract 3x because you want to get the y alone. And then you want to divide by -4. So y equals 3/4. Remember, negative divided by negative is positive, minus 2. 3/4 of an x minus 2. All right, and this kind of brings you back to literal equations when you're solving for a letter, right? Okay, so I'm going to start with point slope. So that's y minus y equals the slope times x minus x. And that's called point slope. I'm going to use the distributive property to release or remove the parentheses. So that's multiplication. 1/2 times x is half x. 1/2 times -4 is -2. Now I'm going to do the opposite of subtracting is adding. And that's going to give me y equals 1/2 of an x plus 3. And that's called slope-intercept form. So now standard form, I'm going to move that 1/2 of an x back to the other side. And then there's this rule that all of the numbers need to be integers, and the very first number, the coefficient of the x, has to be positive. So I'm going to multiply everything by -2. And I'm doing a negative because negative times negative is positive, and that would make the coefficient of the x positive. And I'm using a 2 because that's the lowest common denominator. So that's going to give me x minus 2y equals negative 6. And that's called standard form. All right, state the domain, range, relative max, and y-intercept. Okay, so domain is going to be from left to right. That's so weird why it's writing like that. I don't know. So if I go all the way to the left, -1, -2, -3, -4. And if I go all the way to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they're both going to be square brackets because they're both closed endpoints. And then I'm going to do the range, so I'm going to go low. So I go 1, 2, -3, and I'm going to go high, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, those are both closed points or solid points, so I'm using square brackets. And you can also write that as inequalities. So like this inequality would be -4 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 8. You can also write them as inequalities. All right, the relative max would be this point right here. So I know the y is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5, 5. So it's 5, 5. So what we would say is it's a max of 5. I'm drawing instead of moving. So it's a max of 5 when x equals 5. Okay? 5, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 5? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's 5. Okay. And this would be the y-intercept over here. So the y-intercept is -2. And that's it. All right. So good luck with your test. Come to extra help. Extra help. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, after school. Have a great day. Bye.